Hi everyone. Rabindranath Tagore, a great name not just in Indian literature but in the world literature. Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's literature is greatly influenced by the teachings of Buddha. We can see that influence in many of the poems, stories, and plays written by Tagore. Today I would like to share one such story written by Tagore. The name of the story is The Price. It's a very short story. Here it goes. One winter morning, a lotus dared to bloom in the garden of Sudas, a gardener. Gardener was very surprised to see lotus in his garden in such an odd season. He just thought, if I sell this flower to the king, I'll get a great price. While going to the king's palace, he came across a traveler. The traveler asked, "Dear gardener, what is the price of this flower? I want to give this to my master Buddha." Gardner was surprised and felt happy. He thought, why not sell this flower directly to the traveler? Being greedy, he just said, this flower's price is one golden masha, which is a great price. Surprisingly, the traveler readily agreed. While he was buying, the king also came on the way, and king asked the same question. Gardener, what is the price of the lotus? I want to get it and give it to my Lord Buddha. Gardener was still surprised and went greedier and doubled the price of the flower to two golden mashas. The king also agreed. The traveler asked for more. Then it went on, the bidding went on, and the gardener went on doubling the price of the flower. While the traveler and the king were bidding for the flower, the gardener got a thought. If I take this flower to the man for whom these people are bidding, I may get still much more value, much more price, much greater price. Thinking this, and without knowing the greatness of Buddha, Sudas went to the place where Buddha was there. Buddha was sitting quietly under a tree. As soon as he saw Sudas, he just asked, "My son, what do you want?" Sudas was speechless. He saw the shine in the eyes of Buddha. He saw an unexplainable smile on the lips of Buddha. He saw a great wisdom on the face of Buddha. He said, "My Lord, I just want a speck of dust from your feet." And he dropped the lotus at the feet of Buddha. Rabindranath Tagore ends the story here. It is up to readers to take it in whatever way they want. Maybe Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore has written this story out of pure love and devotion towards Buddha. But for me as a reader, the story doesn't end here and it leads me to lot of insights. It opens so many windows of thoughts. Let me just share some of my insights about this story. The first and foremost question that I get in my mind after reading the story is, why did the gardener transform himself so much after seeing Buddha? Or how do we relate ourselves to the characters in this story? Simply put, whom do you want to be in the story? I would just say the first character of the story is lotus itself. The lotus that bloomed in the garden of the Sudas, which is the root cause for the beginning of the story and for the entire ongoing process of the story. Do you want to be the lotus? The second character in the story is the gardener. Do you want to be the gardener? The one who carried the lotus and who took it to different people, from the traveler to the king and to Buddha, changing his approach towards looking at lotus, fixing its price, and then submitting it at the feet of Buddha. Do you want to be the gardener? The third character of the story, the traveler. One who instantly noticed the preciousness of the flower and wanted to offer it to his master Buddha. He went to the extent of even competing with king to get that flower. Do you want to be the gardener? The next character is the king. The king, or being the king, he also competed with the gardener for with the traveler to get the flower, because he also realized that it is very precious and he wanted to offer it to his master Buddha. The next character of the story is the Buddha himself. Do you want to become Buddha? Who turned the entire approach of the gardener towards the flower. Do you want to be the Buddha? Well, the more sensible question would be not whom do you want to be, it's about what do you want to be from the characters that exist in this story. Let's again visit the characters. Instead of becoming someone in the story, I would say it is sensible to take something good from every character of the story and make your own character. The first character of the story, the flower. The takeaway from the flower is the flower became so precious just because it was not like any other ordinary flowers that bloom in summers. This was the only flower which opposed the norms, which just broke all the rules and dared to bloom in the month of winter. When no one else was ready to bloom, this flower bloomed in this one. This is how it happens in life too. When no one else is ready to take the risk, and if someone dares to take the risk, dares to ask questions, dares to swim against the flow, he is respected more. Then the second one, the traveler. The traveler had such a great devotion towards his master. His devotion made him even compete with the king himself for getting or for possessing that flower. That devotion from the traveler makes him great. Third one is the king. He was the king after all. He could have just snatched the flower from the gardener who was just a citizen in his country, in his kingdom. He didn't do that. He didn't misuse his power. He could have just driven away the traveler and owned the flower and gave it to Buddha. But he didn't do that either. King, although he was a king, he just acted in a very responsible, in a very normal way, even though he could have exercised his power. That's what makes him great. It's not about having the weapon and using it. It's about having the weapon and not misusing it makes you great. King never used his power to take or own the flower. Then the gardener. Gardener was also someone who instantly realized the value of the flower, and he started getting more price for the flower at the beginning of the story. That's the smartness. Reading the circumstances around us and acting accordingly is a smartness that the gardener has. It doesn't have to be negative. When we own something which is great, when we have something which is extraordinary, it may be an object, it may be your intelligence. It's the smartness, how you make best use of it. how you get the greatest value to what you have. That's the smartness that the gardener had. At the same time, although it sounds like he is being unethical at the beginning, at the end when he sees Buddha, he gets mesmerized and offers flower at no price at Buddha's feet, which simply means when the situations demand or when we get some realization, we must be ready to leave everything and just submit ourselves to something that is very great, something that is greater than the materialistic price of the flower. And lastly, Buddha himself is one of the characters in the story. Buddha didn't do anything except seeing the gardener and asking him what does he want. Here is where the answer for why the gardener submitted himself to Buddha lies. It's not easy to get such a wisdom, to get such a shine in the eyes, to get such smile on the lips, and to get such wisdom on the face, unless you have experienced a lot, suffered a lot, questioned a lot, explored a lot, experienced a lot, and then you have arrived at a level where your words matter a lot. Your words will make someone realize the greatness of you. That's what Buddha did. As soon as Gardner saw Buddha, Gardner realized how great Buddha was. The title of the story, the prize, is more appropriate at the beginning of the story or until the very end of the story. But it is at the end of the story, the flower actually turned itself from getting the prize to getting the value. So the price was fixed at the time when it was being bid by gardener, traveler and the king. But when it came to Buddha, its price got changed into its value. That's how it happens when we go to the right people. We become priceless and we get our value.